Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition update 13.3808. Why can't they just give normal updates? Like just do like update 1, update 2, update 3. Why do they have to do 13.38085? You're not NASA. Anyways, let's have a look, see if they made any changes from the pup. So the generic civilization balance, Bosniak, that was on there. So that's remove unit, promotion feature, and damage multiplier. Yes, they've been nerfed very slightly. Giant Grenadier, for some reason they got nerfed, don't know why. That's the same. Grenadier added a negative, yeah, that was the same. So Grenadiers don't do damage versus shock infantry, which just makes sense. Guard of Honor, Legendary Native Warriors, Brazil Revolution. These cards are now probably cost a shipment each. Yeah, that was a bug, wasn't it? That's the same. 2 bank wagons for South Africa, like we've discussed before. 2 banks is better than 1 bank. However, it's still not as good as the nerf where they had an extra factory, which I don't know why they changed. Several recently added technologies now get properly researched upon starting the game in post-adjustment. Yep, that's the same. So that's no additions there from the pup. Chinese T-export trickles now reduced to 0.35 from 0.4, so that's the same nerf. French, these are all updates to the French Revolution, and yeah, I've played around with it on the pup, and I still don't like the French Revolution. I just think it's a sucky version of the Canada Revolt, because Canada Revolt has infinite 10 villager shipments, and it essentially does the same thing with your villagers as the French Revolution does. Although I don't believe the Canada villagers lose any gather rate whilst they do in this state. But anyways, it has been buffed nicely, but like, I mean, you completely got rid of the wood cost there, which is insane. But it's still bad. It's still bad. Germans. Okay, high Pandoors. Yeah, so now they cost 1k gold. Good. Mercenary camps now delivers free Ulans as intended. And I've got a new strat with mercenary camps, which is nice. So the mercenary camps, it is still an age 3 card. So it's not a great card. But if you're teching into mercenaries, it is. Indians, crushing force, damage improvement to elephants reduced to plus 15% from 20%. So a little nerf there, but that's the same. Italians, one of my favorite civilizations. Imperial Berserkers corrected the armor.
Oh, yeah.
Bandit with the big sub. Thank you very much.
Bandit 997 just subscribed. Lionheart is a great streamer. He never streams and steals our money. LLLLLLLLL.
Thanks for the money. Nah, cheers, Bandit. I really appreciate it. You legend. Lakota, cooperation. Okay, now correctly costs 250 food and 250 wood and lowers the cost of support cards by 25% as intended. Okay, up from 15%. Free axe riders. Well, yeah, so they get 4. They basically have been reverted back to how they were. They decided for a patch. Oh, you know what? We'll give Lakota free axe riders, see how they are, and then we're gonna change it back again to 4. So that's fine. 6 cub warriors, so they're gonna be good at Russian again, basically. Team Great Lakes. No one cares about that. Ottomans, Azaps, yeah, we've discussed this. The melee resistance and range resistance has been flipped. I think that's a good thing. That they have it flipped now. But some people will disagree. Some people think that's a nerf. Obviously, the range damage being reduced is a nerf, but I think the resistance now is good. Because they have an insane multiplier versus Cav at melee anyway. So they're going to do well in range anyway against Cav. But now they're just going to do even... Their survivability is better, in my opinion. But we'll see. Delhi, attack speed lowered to 1.2. That's essentially a 20% attack nerf. Although it doesn't take into consideration the first attack. So, yeah. It's kind of 20%, but not 20%. But we played it on the pup, and it seems much more reasonable. Hit points increased. I don't know why. Movement speed reduced to 6.8 again by 0.1. I don't know what the thinking is behind that. Maybe so they can get caught by a certain unit. Nizams unit no longer benefits from counter rifle infantry. That was insane. And I'm pretty sure no one ever really knew that. That was kind of insane. Melee damage multiplier against cavalry increased to 3, up from 2.5 to match the strengths of musketeers. Interesting. The only time really you want Nizams is in Age 3 when you fast fortress and you send them as a shipment, because they're better than veteran Janissaries. So they are really, really insane, and they've essentially been buffed here. Nizam units and shipments now respect a build limit of 20. That's good if you spec into the church, the special church Nizam shipment. Janissary shipments now probably respect the available population space. Okay, that was obviously a bug. Levy fixed an error that allowed Ottomans to access a second levy ability spawning minute. Didn't know that existed, but okay, it's not really a problem. Fatorius reduced effectiveness of town centres. Thank the Lord, by 50%. I think playing on the pup, Kevin still thinks that they're good, but I think that's a very, very good adjustment. I think 50% was what it needed to be. I think it definitely was what it needed to be. Exactly halved. It's still a good card. You still want to send it. It's still going to be the meta. Simple as that. But it's just not going to mean that Portugal are overly OP now. Russians, melee damage improvement for Chelsea reduced. Yeah, A's wasn't happy with that. Economic theory. They've given them eco theory back again. I think they got a lot of complaints over that. But Sovnya is not really a card I use. It's a strange one, to be quite honest with you. But it's a huge nerf to that particular card. But I don't think it's a huge nerf to Russia in particular. Spanish gold now adds the appropriate amount of plus 330 coin instead of plus 300 to exploration cards after aging up with the Logi. Okay, so that was a bug if you went with the Logi, but that's now been fixed. Good. The moment you've all been waiting for. Swedes, Hakkapelit, hit points reduced to 210 from 240. Good. That's quite a hefty nerf. That's more than 10%. So it's like what, 25% maybe nerf. Melee damage reduced to 22 from 30. Good. Melee damage multiplier now applies to heavy cavalry instead of all cavalry. So that's a huge nerf to their melee damage. But 22 melee damage is still going to mean that at close range, they're going to beat light infantry. But I don't think you're going to want to deliberately go into light infantry. I don't think you're going to want to melee light infantry, particularly if you can help it. But if it's only light infantry, then it will do very well. Did they make any changes from pup to live? It doesn't look like it. Well, apparently they said they have. So I'm reading through the notes from here to the pup. So I can't remember every single one, but it doesn't look like much, if anything's been changed from the pup. Added melee damage multiplier of 0.6 against infantry and villagers. Oh, is that all infantry as well? Wow, so they're just not going to... You're not going to want to get into melee mode versus light infantry unless it's just pure light infantry. March of the Hakkapelits. Hakkapelits speed increase reduced to 0.15 down from 0.2. So Hakkapelits have been absolutely nerfed to high heaven, but I think they're still going to fit a niche. I think they're still going to be good. I think you're going to have a good comp with Karelians, leather cannons, and Hakkapelits. I think that's going to still be a good comp because they're essentially still a goon, and they're still essentially a good raiding unit because they're still fast. They don't get countered by goons still, which is good. And this is the only way you could have nerfed Hakkapelit without goons having a multiplier versus them, right? So they've done Sweden mains a favour here by not giving them the multiplier against versus goons, so goons don't kill them. So it means essentially they can raid without a unit countering them. So they're still going to be good at raiding. Which is really good. So yeah, I think goons will just trade okay with them, but Hakkapelits have an area effect damage, so they're still going to trade better against goons than goons will against them. But that makes sense because Hakkapelits are more expensive. Contract Irish Brigadiers sends 9 Irish Brigadiers up from 8 and is now available in Age 2 as intended. You never send that card anyway because they essentially do what Karelians do, and yeah, Irish Brigadiers are very meh type of unit. Ongoing investigation, community reported issues. Your issues continue, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What's on the horizon? A special event. What could the special event be? Could it be... What's coming up? What's the next thing that could be coming up? Jesus' rebirth. So we could be having an Easter event. But that's still quite a way away yet. We're not even in mid-January yet. More balance changes, more bug fixes, and more fun. Okay. Cool.